Begin Unit 7 for the Menucha of Surname Danger and Sir Moses Montefiore. Let's start with reviewing the Psukim. Uvashana Shvit, Shabbat Shabbaton Yeh La'aretz. This is what we learned about in Unit 1, right? About Shabbat La'aretz, Shabbat La'Shem. Sedcha lo tizrak armecha lo tizmor is what we've been dealing with in Units 5 and 6. It's Tzfir tzircha lo tiktzor, it in vain is zerecha lo tivtzor. This will be mainly Unit 7 and a bit of Unit 8. Shnat Shabbaton Yeh La'aretz, V'yada Shabbat Aretz Lachem Le'ochla will be Units 9, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12, and 8, 9, 10, 12, and 13, where 11 is kind of in the middle of it. So that's basically, they're going to focus on Lachem Le'ochla, but we're focusing more on Lo Tiktzor and Lo Tivtzor, which raises a very big question, which is, are you allowed to pick fruit on Shmita? What do you think? So on the one hand, it says Lo Tivtzor, which would imply that you have to pick fruit on Shmita. Right? On the other hand, it says Lo Ochla. So, of course, you have to pick it. Otherwise, how are you expect to eat it, right? It's just weird, right? Right? So what's the answer? What's your answer?
You can use the status as hefty, you can do.
Right, very good. So the Braita really does propose two solutions. Braita, the Sifra, Sifra proposes two solutions, and here and all of Unit 7 is going to discuss the relationship between these two solutions. Which sounds suspiciously like what Dr. Barolowitz said a minute ago, right? In other words, as long as it sounds like it's saying, as long as the status of the fruit is hefker, then you are allowed to pick it, right? That's mina shamur and tabotzer. So question, if it's not mufkar, are you allowed to pick it? I'm just asking based on what it says. Okay. Am I allowed to break into your garden, which is shamur, and pick it? Not left. We'll get to that. But I'm just saying, based on the Braita. When I say you can understand that in two ways, right? It could mean I expect you from your own garden. You want to pick something from your garden, make sure that's no more yours than anyone else's. Or you could say categorically, any garden that's well defended during Shmita is asur. You're not allowed to pick it. Just you're not allowed to pick on Shabbos. You're not allowed to pick on Shmita. Besides, so that's his transgression. But now I have an isur, right?
It's not transgression to make.
It's a trend.
One opinion is that God is made.
Oh, so that's Unit 11. And it's right what you said that so that's Unit 11 about who turns into hefker. But again, I'm just raising the options in the Braita. And you can read the Braita in another two ways. Right? You can say mina shamur ba'aretz, anything on Shmita that is shamur, you just now it becomes asur to pick. So. Or you could say, as long as the status is a status of hefker, you have to, or is an expectation from your own garden. Now let's see the second solution. Lo tivtzor kaderech habotzrim, which is a very surprising limud. It's saying, what does lo tivtzor kaderech habotzrim mean? B'shinui. So you're allowed to do it b'shinui, just like anything it says in the Torah, which you're not allowed to do, and you're b'doraita allowed to do b'shinui, right? No, I'm not. That's so, right? Most isurim doraita are not asur once you do b'shinui. Now they become asur b'drabanan usually, right? So it's a bit of an odd limud when you say lo tivtzor. You're allowed to do b'shinui. It could be that the whole limud is simply saying Chazal did not asur the b'tzira b'shinui. It says lo tivtzor, so you're allowed to pick. How can I eat? The answer is you're allowed to pick b'shinui. Why didn't Chazal go there just like they did with all other fruit, with all other isurim? Sorry, because Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to eat the Perot Shvit. But that's a bit strange because that would imply that you're not allowed to eat Perot Shvit. There's no D'oraita recognized way to eat Perot Shvit. You're only allowed if you do it b'shinui, which is Drabat, right? You see the problem. Let's see the Shinuim, the Gemara, the Braita says. Mikan amru, תאנים של שביעית אין קוצים אותם במוקצה, אבל קוצה אותם בחורבה. אין דורכים ענבים בגת, אבל דורכים בערבה. אין עושים זיתים בבד ובקוטבי, אבל קוטע שהוא מכניס לבדידה, רבי שמעון אומר, אף טוחן הוא בבד ומכניס לבדידה. So this is very surprising on a few levels. First of all, let's start from אין דורכים ענבים בגת. Is that a method of b'tzira?
No, but
Remember that
It's the rest of the process, right?
It's like a big basket.
Correct.
So if the amount here is it for commercial consumption or for personal consumption?
Very good. Very good. So there are two ways. Okay, so there are two, you already skipped to my second question. But there are 2 points that come out of this Braita. One is that it's seen as a process from Lotik Tzor until Le'ochla. When you go from Lotik Tzor up to Le'ochla, everything, right, as you said, things, right, the rest of the process, you also need the shinui there. Not only when you're picking, but also when you're processing. Why? Because you could kotzer only Le'ochla, meaning you can only do it b'shinui, whatever that means. But so there, it implies that it's not only a way to matir the lotik tzor, it's the way to matir the process from lotik tzor until le'ochla. Otherwise, these 3 last cases, which are 3 out of 4, right? How you create wine out of your grapes, how you create oil out of your olives, and I'm not sure what he's referring to in the tochen. It could be, presumably, tochen usually refers to grain, but I'm not sure if that's what he's referring to here. But you see my point? All these things are not ways of picking, right? They're ways of processing before you eat, after you pick. Only the first case, let's go back to the first case. That itself, we're going to learn next time, is a machloket, how to understand that sentence. Are we talking about a method of picking? And then we say what tool should be used, or are we talking about something else, which would imply the second point, which is when they say shinui, what is a shinui? So the first thing I said, b'shinui, they say, so pick with your left hand, right? Pick with your teeth, right? Right, pick that's the, when I said b'shinui, right? That's what, right, Dr. Berlowitz immediately implied was that, right? But says Yonatan, it sounds more like we're not talking about shinui in the sense of how to pick, the shinui in terms of the purpose, right? How much, mimelo, the purpose, right? So by the way, this is one way of reading the whole Braita. We can see this in the Rishonim. Everything I'm saying will just come up in the Rishonim later on. But I'm not inventing, I'm not as imaginative as you think. I'm just imagining all these things. So all the Rishonim, and then I'm saying this is the different various ways of reading the Braita. That the point is you have to pick it in a way that doesn't turn you into the sole master of the field. So your field is to be open to other people, and what you pick out of the field has to be only a small amount what you need for your Kiddush wine for this week. That's it. The shinui is something small, as a small amount. Shinui, so here would be shinui miderech habotzrim. But if it's all kederech habotzrim, you have to remember, botzrim usually have a whole huge field full of grapes, and they go and use a combine and pick everything.
Just with
Right.
respect to like Shabbat, he's doing this in a way that's possibly for a different purpose, and we're allowed to do a certain malach on Shabbat.
No, so that's a fair point. So for that sense, we're going to have to differentiate. We're going to see this in the Rishonim. 2 ways of reading the Braita. When they say shinui, one can say shinui, meaning I have to turn it from Doraita to Drabanan, by doing it with my left hand, by picking with my teeth, by doing it not the way that it's normally done, right? With a chorva, which in that case would be a cherev, and not with the... I just want to say the second one, then I'll let you, okay? The second option is to say, Lo tivtzor kederecha botzrim means don't reap the field the way like the owner would. And it's not a din of shinui at all. It's not a shinui in the classic sense, in the chinam, in that sense. So that's just to give you a bit of a flavor of where we're going here with Unit 7. We're going to stop here.